Welcome to the Temporal Fusion Podcast.
You are listening to
TemporalFusion.com.
Chilling here with Dr. Holmes, xunfusion. Stand up! Dr. Holmes.
Hip Hop.
That's how we do it.
Hip Hop.
Thanks for tuning in. This is Dr. Holmes, podcast interview with Inca Perseverance, the alien black feather dark priest, up-and-coming MC from Boston. It's a privilege to be here with him and conduct this interview. Why don't you say a few words, introduce yourself.
No doubt. This is Inca Perseverance, the alien black feather dark priest. As Dr. Holmes mentioned, I'm an MC from Boston, Stony Brook. I been a victim of a lot of bullshit that happened in my life. Just crazy times, and they basically reflect in my rhymes, my suffering and agony. As like my last words I'll say before I die. So whenever you tune into my music, that's the kind of feel you'll get. So I'm about 24 years old, got a lot of inspiration from other MCs, dark MCs and dark poetry, but very few dark MCs actually. That's pretty much a little bit about me. Right now, I'm basically working on a project with Diwu Allah. The project is called Tombstone Teeth. That's the name of the group. We're right now seeing if a third member is going to be able to tune in as well and become part of the group. I'm also working on my album. The album's going to be called Pain, Body Odor, and Death. I look forward to making that happen as well. So those are two projects that I'm working on right about now.
So we got the Tombstone Teeth crew with Diwu Allah, another up-and-coming MC from Boston. And we're also privileged to have this cat, xunfusion, and I, also in the building right now. The name of our album is the 33 Degree Compilation. And we're privileged to have Inca appearing on this album. Basically, what I wanted to get into with you is you are a Satanist, and I think that that's something for me personally that I've been interested in since I was a little kid, and I've always been interested in, the dark side of things, the underreported side of things. Satanism was always something that was very intriguing to me, especially I was raised a Christian, and when you're raised a Christian, you hear almost as much about Satan as you do about God. If you can just sort of explain what being a Satanist means to you and what that involves, in your day-to-day routine.
Definitely will. It's not a problem to emphasize the darkness and the truth behind the matter. Like, there's been I actually had the same upbringing as you as far as being a Christian. It transformed drastically because I started to just see the corpses, man, and look around and on certain websites. Like, I just started to analyze how cruel the world really is and how cold it is, and it made more sense for me to not be so warm. Because I realized it wasn't right. Like, I started seeing basically when I would go to church, like, people would have a smile on their face and act like everything's going well when they're really hurting inside and they had a lot going on. It was I made it my interest to go to the I made copies of a whole bunch of corpses, and I brought them to the church that I was attending, and nobody wanted to see them except for the pastor. He took the time to see them, and I had to show them that God isn't good all the time, and all the time God isn't good. And that's what they were teaching us, that God is good. And I started to get angry with this being called God. I was angry because I didn't understand how I had to abstain from having sex, why I had to be a certain way, and why I couldn't swear and I couldn't do the things that I thought would things that make me feel good. It's just crazy, man. Me being in the church, going against the Bible studies, and I was challenging everybody, and nobody wanted to step up because every time they did, I'd shut them down, because it was just like they had no chance at all, because I was talking about some real stuff, man. I come from a family that was poor, dirt poor, you know what I'm saying? No food in the cabinets, no food in the fridge, food stamps, Section 8 welfare. And I know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's like to not have what you need to survive. And I've been also through molestation as well. That right there gave me a view of this God that was so good that it made me become an enemy towards him, and I became angry. So I started to delve into Satanism. I went to this bookstore and I stole a copy of the Satanic Bible. When I did it, I just started to engulf myself in it purely and started to study it out, and it made a lot of sense, man. Speaking on your feelings and how natural it is to be human, you know what I mean, and to actually have these feelings of sexuality and wanting to express them, and not wanting to hold back and be suffering for God. There's be going on a fast. Like, you can fast in different ways. Like, you can say if you like watching TV, you'll fast and not watch any TV for a little while for God, or for a while, many months. It depends on how long you want to fast. So that's what people would do, and that's what I would do. I would fast. And I remember I had my girlfriend at the time, and we loved having sex with each other, you know what I'm saying? But we were still going to church and everything, and it was a bad time, because we were both into it really deeply, and we both loved each other, but we tried to not have sex for the respect of God, and we never could do it. We would always be having sex, you know what I'm saying? It was a beautiful thing. So that's just a little bit about it. To go into further detail, I mean, after becoming an angry person with God, I became a Satanist. I did my own baptism according to the Satanic Bible, and that's written by Anton LaVey. He's the leader of the Church of Satan. Well, rest in peace. He's passed away now, but my views are a little different. There's different types of Satanists. You got a spiritual Satanist, and then you have this atheist Satanist that the Church of Satan pretty much deals with. So those are two different types of Satanists, but I'd like to explain that a little better.
That was basically the next thing that I wanted to ask you about. What is the difference between an atheist and a Satanist, and does a Satanist believe in God and Jesus as it's described in the Bible, or do you think that's made up and Satan overtakes that, or do Satan and God and Jesus coexist?
I guess when you're looking at it from the point of view of the type of Satanist that Anton LaVey was making two paths for, he made two paths of Satanists. One was an atheist Satanist and one was a spiritual Satanist. And you had the spiritual Satanists that believed in Satan, and you had the atheists which believed in themselves as God, and do rituals just because of letting out the stress and things like that. Doing the rituals, that's one of the main things that would be recommended, is that you let out your stress when you're doing the rituals. But as far as God goes, I mean, it seemed like Anton LaVey just made Satan to be more of his own deity, and didn't have anything to do with God. I read in the Satanic Rituals book, it pretty much outlined it like Satan was God, and